On this channel, Million Dollars Made Easy, we love to run numbers for people. I want to say first off, this channel is not financial advice. It simply gives you some tools that you can aid you in your financial planning. When I run numbers for people, I can't give you detailed analysis, but if you can just give me things like this, the beginning balance, the monthly amount you want to contribute or withdrawing, take out, an increase if you're increasing your amount you're putting in over the years, or a COLA if you're at the withdrawal stage, and also a time frame. So let's look at an individual here. I had an interesting request. He said he had $954,000. I realize most people aren't in that camp, but he said he was 34 years old and he can contribute basically 50K into his 401K, which is about 4,200 a month. So I ran the numbers and they're just off the charts even after 20 years. And what I did is I took the worst year. I know 1929 was the worst year in the last 100 years. And if you see these numbers, they're going down, down, down. But by the time he's to the 16th or 17th year, let me go down here a second. I'm just going to do it for 20 years. Actually, it's 4,087,000 right there. It'd be right there. Didn't even need to do that. So in the worst case scenario, in the last 100 years, you'd have $4 million after 20 years. Looks like you'd have about 2.271 after 15 years. Now, here's what he wanted. He wanted me to run the numbers. Let me show you. He wanted, what we just say here? Bear with me a second. 20, yeah, I'm going to run it for 2,500,000. So say he had 2,500,000 after that 16 or 17 years, and he wanted to withdraw 100K a year, and he wanted to know how long, if he would be able to retire with his 2.5 million from what we just figured out. So what I did is I ran the numbers, given that 1929 was the worst year. In that case, if you began the withdrawal stage and the returns were like 1929, you would run out of money in let's see, 20 years, basically 20 years. But every other scenario, if I go over here to 30 years, I mean, this means it's over 10 million. So I'm not even going to expand the column because I'll lose it on the screen. It's just going up, 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 and up. So the only time he would have run into problems if he did have this 2.5 million, if he did this scenario, and the worst, again, we're looking at the worst case scenario all the way through here with these kind of numbers. Looks like he could easily retire in 15 years with this amount. And the only time he'd have any problem would be in 1929 if he had this 2.5 million. Hopefully this is making sense. He withdrew 100,000 a year, which I put it at 99,000, 8,250. The only time he'd even come close to running money was in 1929. I'm not sure. 1930 was a little iffy too. Let me just 1930. After 30 years, you have 1.766 million, withdrawing 100,000 a year. So it looks like the only time in the last 100 years, if the numbers going forward were like that, he'd run into trouble was 1929. And we use 1929 numbers to even get to this 2.5 million. If you pick any other year, it's going to be like $4 million after 20 years. I don't know if this is making much sense, but I just wanted to run the numbers for him. So it looks like he could potentially retire. I hesitate to tell a 34-year-old to retire, though, because you just don't know what inflation is going to do. But looks like he's well on his way to being set so he could take out that 100,000 a year. Again, you're going to want to have COLAs though down the road, so we have to run those numbers separately. But I didn't want to make this video too long, but I wanted to run the numbers for him. Again, our channel is called Million Dollars Made Easy. I love running numbers for people. You want me to run some numbers for you? Just put it in the comment section. Please share these videos. I think it could be great benefit to so many people, just running numbers for people, and they can learn from your numbers. So again, consider subscribing, share this with your friends, and go ahead and share some numbers with me. I'll go ahead and run them. Thanks for watching.